I'm having a hard time sleeping, so I figured I'd tell you guys one of my stories, dealership stories, before I go to bed, and then I'll just release it in the morning when everybody gets up. So, a lady comes in. She's got a 2017, 2018 Ford Explorer, and she tells them what's wrong with the vehicle. The service advisor comes out, gives me a ticket. Says customer complaint. Customer states vehicle at windshield area makes a fluttering sound at highway speeds. It's okay. Shouldn't be too hard to fix. It's pinpointed to the windshield area. No big deal, right? Go out, test drive the vehicle. We typically don't like to go on the highway because we stay on a regular test drive route. If we have to go highway speeds, it's just a little bit of an inconvenience because of where the dealership's at versus where the highway's at, and then because of how long it is between the exits in some of the spots, and how long you have to drive before you verify the problem. Sometimes, customers say stuff like, at highway speeds above 60 mile an hour for more than 30 minutes. Then all of a sudden the problem happens. Sometimes it's difficult to duplicate these problems. So I take the vehicle out, and I get it 70 mile an hour. I'm not hearing anything at all. Drove this vehicle for 10 miles. Turned around, came back the opposite direction, wind's blowing a different way. Can't verify the problem. I bring the vehicle back and I said, Miss Customer, I can't verify your problem. I'm not getting anything to happen. The vehicle's driving fine. There's nothing else I can really do right now because I can't duplicate it. Well, I'm sure that it's doing it. I'm sure that it's making that sound by the windshield in the lower passenger corner. I can't get it to happen. Well, maybe it stopped. Maybe I should go home. So she goes home. She comes back a couple days later. She says, it's really making that sound, and it's really bothered me on my way to work and on my way home. And can you try again? Can you just go test drive again? So I go out, test drive the vehicle, 70 mile an hour. I can't get the problem to duplicate. 75 mile an hour. I cannot duplicate the problem. 80 mile an hour. I cannot duplicate the problem, and now I'm breaking the law. So I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done wasting time on this damn vehicle. I'm tired of fucking wasting my time. I've put enough time in it already. I'm going back to the dealer. So I turn around and go back to the dealer after almost 15 miles. Take the vehicle back to the dealer. Said, come with me. And she says, well, I have to be to work, and you didn't experience anything? I said, I did not. I went up to 80 mile an hour and I didn't experience anything. And she's looking at me. She says, maybe it was at a faster speed. And I was like, ma'am, I'm not driving faster than 80 mile an hour to duplicate a problem for you. It's not something I'm willing to do. It's not something I'm willing to get a ticket for. I'll go with you, and you can do that for me. Well, I have to be to work, and we already used up enough time this morning, so I have to go, but I'll reschedule and come back. So a week later, the customer comes back in, except this time she's got her husband with her. So, will you mind going for a ride with me? I told my service manager, I said, do you mind if I go for a ride with them? And the service manager says, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. I says, okay. So I get in the vehicle, put my seatbelt and stuff on. We take off. We get on the highway. And we're heading west on the interstate. We're heading east on the interstate. 70, 75, 80 mile an hour. It's kind of like light traffic around, but not too bad. 85, 90, 95, 100 mile an hour. I said, ma'am, what are we doing here? Well, I'm trying to get it to do that. I said, ma'am, I don't feel safe in the vehicle with you right now. You didn't warn me. You didn't tell me about any of this stuff. I was just told at highway speeds. And she says, this is highway speeds. I drive 95, 100, 105 mile an hour to work every day. And I was like, can we just go back, please? I don't feel comfortable right now. I'm not in control of the vehicle. I don't want to be in control of this vehicle right now. I don't feel okay about this. And she says, okay, I'll slow down. So she slows down, calms down or whatever. And next thing I know, out of nowhere, it's back 100 mile an hour, 105 mile an hour. And I said, ma'am, what's going on? What do you, well, maybe if I get off the highway here and I just turn around and go the opposite direction. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to die. I'm kidnapped right now. I'm man-napped right now. This woman is going to use my body or something for, I'm freaking the hell out. Because I don't know what the hell's going on. And I text my old service manager at the time, I'm stuck in this car and they won't let me out of this car. And I don't want to call the cops, but at the same time, I'm starting to freak the hell out. I'm about to call 911. Next thing I know, she's going the opposite direction on the highway, and 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100 mile an hour. And then all of a sudden, as we're going down the highway and we pass the exit to get off, and the next exit's miles away before we can turn around and come back, all of a sudden I hear this right in the lower corner of the windshield, and I'm like, she said, you hear that? You hear that? And I was like, yeah, I hear that. Can we just go back to the dealership now? I'm okay. I get it. Your shit's fucked up. Let's just go back to the dealership. And her husband's in the back, and her husband's sitting there like, fucking geeking out while I'm freaking out. And she's over here looking at me like, you pussy. I don't feel comfortable in a vehicle with somebody else doing that. And I was seriously getting nervous because of the speed at which she was driving. And it just seemed like I do this every day. It's no big deal. Let's just down the fucking highway. And I'm like, I'm going to die. I am going to freaking die. So, we finally get back to the dealership. And I'm shook up. I've been gone 35 minutes, 36 minutes. I'm not getting paid for this time. I was just in fear for my life with a woman that looked like she didn't have a care in the world about going over 100 mile an hour on an interstate with other cars. That just like no big deal. And here I am, worried about going 10 mile an hour over the speed limit to get a damn ticket. This woman's just gone. Drive it like you stole it was her motto. I mean, I swear this woman didn't have a fear in the world. Just shoo down the highway. And I had to take a second to kind of gain my composure and stuff like that, go in the break room. And I actually go sit on the bench in the corner. The locker room's next, and I'm sitting there like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Yeah, I'm just a little freaked out right now. I calm down, I go back to the computer, I'm looking under the technical service bulletins, and sure enough, I see there's a situation for at highway speeds. A fluttering, thumping sound coming from the windshield area where Ford wants you to pull off the plastic cowl where the windshield, or underneath the windshield wipers, where they pull that off, get rid of it, and snap a whole entire new piece and stuff in there, and make sure that it's fitted properly. I let Mrs. Customer go by herself to test drive that vehicle to ensure proper repair after the repair was done. I did not go test drive that vehicle. Luckily, and I did not care if she left with that part on the vehicle and never came back to pay for it, because it was outside of her $32,000 or $36,000, so it wasn't powertrain, but it also wasn't covered under like a safety recall, so that means she had to pay for it. Well, she paid for it. Test drove the vehicle herself too. Wrote the paperwork up quick and got her the hell out of the dealership, and hope to God I never seen her again, because the way her husband sat in the seats in the back between me and her in the front, he was like, ooh. I just got this impression of him like, yeah, I'm going to eat me some of this, boy. Yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight. Because he was just looking at me. I said, I'm going to be somebody's damn meat suit skin or something like that somewhere. I'm not going to make it through this. I'm going to be ground up in somebody's man sausage and some damn goat skin somewhere. Or buried underneath a swimming pool, for God's sake. I don't even have my I don't have my everyday carry on me right now. I can't protect myself. I got two psychos in here at over 100 mile an hour. I'm sure they don't care about putting this thing through the damn wall. because they looked like they were super, super comfortable at 100 mile an hour with traffic. Just one of the scariest moments of being in the care of a customer that I've ever had to deal with. And I will never, ever go on another test drive with a customer if the vehicle has to exceed 70 miles per hour. You will not be going with me. I will be going by myself, and I will figure it out. And if I cannot do it in a good amount of time, you can give it to another technician or take it to another dealership, because that will never happen again. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Y'all be blessed. Customer states, fluttering sound coming from window at highway speeds.